Today I'm taking a look at the all-new Leica D-Lux 8 as an everyday camera. Is it right for me? Is it right for you? And there are French fries. Leica has positioned this camera as an uncomplicated, authentic Leica, and some of that is true. Its fixed lens that is 24 to 75 millimeters equivalent in full frame terms. It is a variable aperture, so as you zoom, the aperture will change from f1.7 down to f2.8. But it is very nice that at full zoom, it is still an f2.8 lens. I've also put a few raw files over on the member site if you want to download them. They are free. You just have to have a free account over there to get them. The Leica D-Lux 8 is a micro four thirds CMOS sensor at 17 megapixels, kind of. The sensor is, we'll talk about that more in a minute. It will do both RAW in DNG format and JPEG at the same time, which is nice. UHS 2 card compatible, and it looks and it feels really nice. It does have a lens that extends when you turn it on. This is the camera when it's off. This is the camera when it's on. And zooming in and out doesn't really change the barrel that much, although it does grow, so that's at 70 right there. That's down at 24 millimeter equivalent. It also comes with one of my favorite accessories of all time, this tiny flash. I wish this flash came with every camera of this size. And I tried it with other cameras and unfortunately it doesn't work. It's also wild that there is no extra charge for this accessory. Other companies barely even include a charger anymore with their pro level products. It's surprising to get this. And while I'm sure a lot has changed inside, the actual sensor and the lens are the same as the D-Lux 7 as well as the Panasonic LX100 Mark II. This camera is after the same market as the Fujifilm X100 series, but rather than a fixed prime lens, this comes with a zoom. The sensor itself is actually 22 megapixels, but the aspect ratios you have to choose from right here on the front of the camera don't allow you to use the full sensor, although you do have some different options like square format and 16:9 if you want to get super cinematic. This said, I probably won't ever use this switch, and I wish I could just get full sensor readout. The rear screen is a touch screen. It's good and responsive, and it technically has more dots than other competitor products. That said, overall, the screen doesn't really impress me that much, and I wish that there was a slightly better screen because I feel like it just makes the photography on location experience a little bit better. The files themselves are amazing and I'm very happy with them. It just doesn't 100% translate to the screen. The screen is also fixed to the camera, as you can see. It doesn't pop out, it doesn't fully articulate. The screen is good enough that even in brighter conditions, I didn't find myself wishing that it was a tilt or a flip. Typically, when I desire a fully articulating screen is when I'm doing video production, which I don't plan on doing a whole lot with this camera. When it comes to the autofocus performance, it's for sure getting pretty good. The face and eye tracking is great. The automatic metering also incredible, and the white balance selections are also very accurate to what I would want. For frames per second, you get 2 FPS if you're using autofocus, and 11 if you're not, so probably not the camera you're gonna be bringing out to the sports match game. But I have good news. It's USB-C this time, which is very nice. The Bluetooth has also been upgraded and the app works most of the time now. It took me a few attempts to connect, but I eventually got there. One thing I will mention here is to load a card into the camera and format it inside that camera. Do not use a card from another camera because it will cause a whole host of issues, including very, very slow playback times of images and the inability to go in between images really quickly. And also some connection issues with the Leica app. I think I just had a 512 gig card in there. It contributed to some connection issues with the Leica app because it's trying to load in other raw files from other camera brands and it just didn't work. So yes, that is a very basic reminder to do the thing we all know we should be doing. Format your card in your camera. Physically, the D-Lux 8 went towards the Q3 style of body for this, and I am very happy with that. The button layout is really easy. Up top, you now have a power button and a zoom rocker. Your wheel back here has a button in the center, and you can hold it down and change it to whatever you want. The 2 function buttons on the back come default set to the LCD EVF selection and photo/video mode, but there are a lot of options you can choose from by just holding those buttons down. On the lens, you also have your physical aperture selection as well as shutter speed control up here. The menu system in the back is simple and straightforward, although there are some quirks with navigating, but it's not really a big deal. Once you have the camera set up, you rarely find yourself in the menu system. When it comes to battery life, it's fine. Bring an extra charger or a USB-C charger for a cell phone if you're out in the world, or bring a bonus battery. I don't think they released an official how many photos the battery can take, but those ratings are always pretty skewed anyways. I'm not gonna mention video too much in this review because I don't think it's the main reason that most people are interested in this camera. The video files themselves, I am happy enough with. The footage is stable enough handheld, and the colors, as expected, are great. Maybe one thing to mention here, if you do plan on using 4K 30p, which is, I would say, pretty standard for just general footage, you do get hit with a bit of a crop factor and your lens becomes a 30 to 94 millimeter full frame equivalent, which means if you need the extra reach, that's great. But if you're trying to self film, it's probably not the correct tool for it. You also don't have a mic jack or a headphone out. So yeah, this camera is very much designed photography first. Overall, I'm really happy to see Leica continuing to manufacture cameras in this compact space. This camera is for sure a great upgrade over the D-Lux 7, even though it does still have some of the same components. I'm also very happy to see that they're not trying to punch in just video specs to make the camera more video centric for no reason, putting 6.3K or something in here when it's not needed. And that helps keep the cost from getting too out of control. When it comes down to who this camera is for, fortunately, it's pretty simple. If you're looking for a 24 to 70 millimeter zoom in a compact package that's really nice to hold, this is it. There's lots of competition from Fujifilm and Ricoh in the compact fixed prime market, but there's nothing as versatile as 24 to 75 in compact body. Unless, I guess, Sony has one. While the lens does add a bit of awkwardness to the camera silhouette, if you're after a great zoom range and a compact camera, this is for you. For me personally, I'm going to be spending a few more weeks with this before deciding if I'm keeping it long term. And yeah, if you want to get those raw files, link in the description. I'll see you again next time.